Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Wicked Boxing 805 La Colonia boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Wicked Boxing 805 La Colonia boxing gloves. I got mine in the brown and gold colorway, 14 ounces in Velcro. You can also get this model in lace up, anywhere between 12 to 16 ounces, with a total of 3 different colors to choose from, which you can check out on Wicked's website. It's made of full genuine leather with a tri-cut liner on the inside of the hand compartment and layered foam padding over the knuckles. That is medium in firmness. It's not too stiff, nor is it too soft. And the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, if I were to compare this to any glove I've used in the past, I would probably say that these are very similar to like the Sabas Pro Series or the Sabas Super Soft gloves. Mostly in terms of the shape and the profile. The glove isn't too tall, nor is it too short and stocky, and it has about a medium width. So compared to other 14-ounce gloves, I'd say that these are about medium in size. They're not overly huge and bulky, nor are they a super compact glove. The leather on here has more of a satin finish. It's not a very glossy leather, nor does it have a very thick texture to it. So it has more of a satin smooth finish to it. And the gold on here is not metallic. It's more of a satin gold. So it has a little bit more of a subdued look, which I like. I think it goes well with the brown. It has a nice contrast in color, but it kind of gives it more of an old school vintage look with the brown and the gold. You do have the oval Wicked logo on the back of the glove. Says Wicked Fight Gear Boxing, Oxnard, California, which is where they're based out of. You do have the gold and brown split thumb. And this is a 4-inch Velcro strap that wraps all the way around. Nothing too crazy there, nothing that we haven't seen before, but it is a leather strap. You rotate to the other side, you can see that the Velcro on here is good quality. It's nice and grabby and it attaches very nicely. The back of the wrist support, you're looking at about, I'd say about an inch of firm density foam padding, and then the liner up against your skin is definitely on the softer side, that tri-cut liner, with a little bit more of a foamy texture and feel to it. The inside of the wrist is a lot less. I'd say you're looking at about maybe 1/8 of an inch of softer padding if there's anything in there. And they didn't really put much of an emphasis on their inner wrist padding on the inside. You'll notice again that it has more of that tri-cut liner on the inside of the hand compartment. You also do have tags on the inside with the warning label, as well as the Wicked logo right there on the inner liner that's sewn in. You do have the elastic that attaches the 2 sides of piping together right here in the middle, that is stitched in with a cross X stitching. You also have Wicked written in black font, written vertically on the outer edge of the glove. You do have gold piping at the base of the thumb as well as on the palm side. Ventilated holes on the inner portion of the thumb as well as below and above the grip bar. You do have your additional traditional attached thumb here at the very tip to allow the thumb to kind of stay tucked in and not flare out. And the grip bar in here, I'd say, is a good size and firmness, fairly large. So to me, they didn't skimp out on the grip bar, which I do like. And it's probably one of the focal points on why I like this glove so much. Quality-wise, the gloves are really solid. When you're looking at the gloves from a symmetry standpoint, we'll start off with that today. In terms of the height of the glove and the width, you'll notice that they're pretty much identical in height. Thickness is about 2 inches, maybe, about in thickness of foam padding. You can see the oval logos on the back pretty much match each other. I'd say that the pre-curved fist on the left glove is slightly deeper than the right glove, but it's not very noticeable once you have your hands on the inside of the hand compartment. And the thumb position is pretty much identical on the gloves. Giving you guys a quick close-up, you guys can see it for yourself. Really no glaring imperfections or issues with the glove that would throw a red flag or it would have me say, okay, this is a big issue. Piping is all done nicely. Stitching is done very well on the palm side. Everything looks good right there on the back of the glove. Again, with the logos. And show you guys the right glove. Right there looks good. Everything on that side looks good as well. And it looks good. Now, let's go to the cons with the quality. The first one's going to be the weight. The gloves are a 14-ounce glove, but when I put them on the scale, they came in about a half ounce underweight. I believe the left glove is at 13.3 and the right glove is at 13.4. So both are a little over half pound, or half ounce, should I say, underweight. The good news is that the gloves are pretty much the same exact weight as each other. So it's not like you have one glove that's an ounce heavier than the other, where you can see the noticeable difference in weight when you put the gloves on. The other thing is there's, again, very little, if any, padding on the inside portion of the wrist. So the glove tends to be kind of floppy and top heavy because of the lack of support on their inner portion, or the palm side facing portion of the glove. So you do have a floppy wrist. So it would have been nice for them to add more support on the wrist right here to give it a little bit more of a rigid feel and look, and just distribute the weight a little bit better. The funny thing is that these gloves are about a half ounce underweight. And to me, that's right there. You could have added a little bit more padding on the wrist and you would have been on point with weight, and you would have added more wrist support, in my opinion. So when you lock in the Velcro strap, it gives you a little bit more of a snug feel. Which brings me on to the last thing, is going to be the Velcro strap. Again, if this wrist padding was thicker, it would make the wrist strap kind of go around a little bit shorter. But because it's a really tight feeling wrist strap, you'll notice that you do have overlap. And you sometimes see that with our other gloves, where now this Velcro overlapping is exposed. And this is the rough edge, or the male edge of the Velcro, if we want to call it. So if you were to use these gloves for sparring, which you could, the last thing you would want is for this rough edge. And if you guys have ever gotten hit by this on your skin, you know that it leaves a really bad rash or a scrape if you've ever been hit with this Velcro in sparring. So if you're sparring somebody and you happen to hit them with a blow or a punch and it's off where it needs to go and you end up scraping them with it, you can definitely do some damage with that exposed Velcro. So there's a couple of things here to that, right? Increase the padding on the inside, which will make this strap basically push out a little bit more and you won't have as much overlap. Or two, add a female piece of Velcro so that it can grab on, or shorten the Velcro strap. So there's a couple of options, but if you're gonna leave it the same length, then put something there so that this has something to grip onto and it doesn't just stick out like that. And that's the same thing on both gloves. You can see how much it sticks out on the right side. So again, that's just a quality detail thing with these gloves. Comfort wise, slide your hand to the glove. So the first thing you feel is a liner. It feels very comfortable, really smooth. There's nothing on the inside of the gloves that is causing me any type of discomfort when I'm just standing stationary with the gloves on, which is great. So no pinch points. The base of the thumb piping is great. I feel like it definitely is accommodating for those of you that have bigger hands or longer fingers, or just overall a bigger person. Keep in mind, these are the 14s, so the 16s will be a little bit more roomier. So in terms of sizing, I feel like these gloves are a great size relatively for anybody of any hand size. So I feel they feel really good. You know, obviously the wrist support can be improved on the inner portion. The Velcro strap feels good. Again, the liner feels great. There's no excess material around the finger compartment, nor is there any on the thumb. Thumb positioning is nice and parallel, and the thumb tips are deep enough to where it accommodates the tip of my thumb. And even when I compress my fingers to make a nice tight fist, it doesn't pull down on the tip to where you feel like it rolls and then your thumb ends up jamming when you land a punch. The depth of the finger compartment is perfect as well. It's probably one of my favorite things is how deep this finger compartment is, and the secondary and the primary grip bar. So the grip bar feels really good. You can really feel that grip bar, as well as the secondary neoprene grip bar that the fingertips grip onto when you make a fist. So that's probably one of the primary pros of the glove, is going to be just that nice deep feeling in that finger compartment. Not too wide, not too narrow, very comfortable, and the grip bar feels great. So that feels good. So overall, just in terms of overall static comfort, as well as when I'm using them, these gloves are very comfortable. There was nothing about the glove that caused me discomfort or had any issues with my knuckles or with my hand. Obviously, just a little bit of a lack of the wrist support, but I have hand wraps on when I wear these gloves and it doesn't really bother me too much. Protection and performance, this is a training glove in my opinion. This is for everything in the gym. The type of foam padding they use on here is balanced. It's right in the middle, gives you a good amount of shock absorption, knuckle protection, but also gives you a decent amount of feedback as well. It does compress nicely when you do land your power shot, so you can definitely feel your front knuckles making the contact, but it doesn't break all the way through to where it's too soft and you feel like you're going to be doing some damage to your hands, or you might cause a reoccurring injury with your forearm or even with your wrist. For me, primarily, I always had an issue with my right hand, especially in my wrist. Over the years, I have like this clicking sound, so I don't know if it's like a ligament or a tendon or something. And that was from me, throwing with power on the bag, right? Surprise, surprise, throwing with power. And my hand kind of went in a weird position, and then ever since then, I've had this kind of reoccurring thing. So just making sure that you do wrap your hands nicely with this glove because of that lack of a little bit of that wrist support down there. That would probably be my only con with that. But overall, I'd say a really nice training glove. Lastly is going to be the cost, which is another great point of this glove. This glove is $79.99, so it's an $80 glove. Full leather construction. They do have some nice colorways. You can get it in Velcro or lace up. It's a good looking glove, and it's fairly priced. I mean, I feel like, gloves like these, there's some other brands out there. I won't name any names, but it's really big marketing, right? Like would sell something like this for like $200 and use fancy words and all kinds of other stuff to say why it's they're justifying asking that price. But for $80, man, you really can't go wrong with this glove, regardless. I mean, it's a great all-around training glove. And when I do my top 10 under $100 list, I'm almost 100% certain that this glove will end up on that list, somewhere on the list. I don't know where, but it will, just because you're going to be really hard pressed to beat this value for the money for all the features you're getting at this price point. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Wicked Boxing 805 La Colonia boxing gloves. See you guys later. Peace.